Let's do selection techniques today. I'm sure you're already familiar with selecting a column by clicking the column letter and selecting rows by the row number and dragging to select multiple of those, and then probably selecting a range by dragging to select it. But let's simplify some of that for you. So if you wanted to select a range, you can click the first cell, hold Shift, and click the last cell that you need. If you do that again, click the first, hold Shift, click the last cell in the range. You can also do this with the Control key when you want things that are not necessarily side by side. You can select all your ranges and then you can apply one function to all of those at the same time. I did that with the Control key. Now you might also, surely you've done this, you select your range and then you realize you went too far, you selected too many or not enough rows or columns. After I've let go of the mouse, hold the Shift key and use the arrow on your keyboard to come back, left arrow, right arrow to add more columns, down arrow to add more rows, and the up arrow to remove. So you can do that all after you've let go of the mouse, or you can start it that way. Just click in your first cell and use your Shift and select your range that way. Now let's use this with some real data here. So let's say I want to select everything in the date column. If I select column A, what happens if I scroll all the way down here, you see I've got a couple hundred rows of stuff, and what I see is that I've selected everything, but I want it to stop at row 300. So I'm going to Control back up to the top, Control Home, and let's say I want to do Control Shift with the down arrow. That's going to select only down to the bottom of my completed data. You see it stopped at row 300. If I want to add to that, I could easily do that by doing Control Shift right arrow, and that would take me out to my complete range. That's a great way you can come in here and then name your data range so that you could quickly come back to that anytime, my data range, and reselect it or maybe use it in a formula. Now I want to show you, if you turn this set of data into a table, which I'm doing from the Insert tab table, my table does have headers. I want to show you how you can select easily in this view. So again, if you select column B, I'm going all the way down to eternity, which is like 1,000,000 rows in here. So let's Control Home, jump back to the top. I want to show you the difference. If you have a table set up and you point right at the heading area instead of up in the column letter, you're actually able to select just that column of data. And here actually I should show you another one of my tricks. I have found that I can use something called the Control with the period. If you do Control period, it jumps you to the end of your range selected, and Control period back to the top. Control period, Control period. It also works great if you've selected a range that's more of a rectangular size. So Control period, Control period, Control period, Control period takes you to your 4 corners. I should mention you can do these same kind of tricks in Word. Here I am in Word, and again I could drag across the selection, but if I've let go and I want to add to it, you'll see I'm going to use the Shift with the arrows. Right arrow is a character at a time, left arrow is a character at a time, up and down are rows at a time. Don't forget you can use this also selecting in your Windows Explorer. So here I'm using the Shift click, Or if I wanted to do a control click, I can control click things that are not side by side. So great selection techniques that work throughout Windows. I hope you can use these.